My mind and my spirit are coming apart at the seams.
Next Wednesday.
Ms. Williams, I think that you may have been manipulated into confessing to a crime you're not sure you committed.
It looks like everyone has a little dirt
Is there something you need to tell me?
I'm embarrassed to say this.
they don't want exposed.
No evidence, just a statement coerced by an FBI agent who had an inappropriate relationship with her.
You're the one who recommended you come.
I may have made a mistake. Did you stab Gary?
Tyler Perry's Sistas. All new next Wednesday.
All right, everyone. Hope you're doing well. And we have the next episode trailer and synopsis for Sistas Season 8. This is episode 14 entitled Knock Knock. Following her panic attack, Dany confides in an old friend about the chaos in her life. Fatima puts her plan to get evidence on Hayden into action. Andy questions Robin's motives and starts to regret asking for his help. Well, this synopsis is pretty straightforward, and it doesn't give us anything that we didn't get for the from the trailer. So, this trailer, let me put it this way. If you remember my trailer breakdown from last week, which was like less than 6 minutes, this one will be a little bit longer. But in the trailer breakdown, I said, I want to be honest here. The trailer for next week doesn't really get me pumped up for, what's to come. I'm getting the same vibes from this trailer. I mean, I just can't wait for this season to be over. Okay, so before going into the breakdown of Knock Knock, please do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video, even if you don't like the episode. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Hit that bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content. And hit subscribe because, well, I'd really appreciate it. So, let's talk about the first part. Now, congrats to everybody. Everybody. I remember when I did the synopsis breakdown, once this synopsis got released a couple weeks ago, I said, is it Preston that she's going to talk to? Even though I don't think so. Fans are like, well, Jeremy, in terms of old friends, maybe Dany is going to be talking to Zach about the situation, involving the panic attack. You were right. It is Zach. So, first of all, we got Dany talking to Sabrina. Looks like, we finally moved to the next day. So if my, recollection of the season is correct, I believe this is the third day of the season so far. Because remember, the first day took up about 8 to 10 episodes. Then we finally moved into the following day. So yeah, I believe that even though we are episode 14, this is only the beginning of the third calendar date within the sister universe so far, which is wild, but what can you do? It seems like if Karen really is 8 months pregnant, they are going to drag the hell out of this final month. So, Sabrina's getting ready to go for work because remember, she spent the night at Dany's place to make sure she was okay. And Dany's like, well, hey, I'm rooting for Richard Sperm to be a winner. And just real quick, it looks like later on at the doctor when, Rich is going in for the checkup, he's talking to Sabrina saying, and, I'm really embarrassed to say this, so I don't know what I don't know. It's something probably sperm related. I don't know. It's just, I don't really have anything else to add to that. But Dany, is talking with Zach. I believe Zach comes over to her place and she's like, look, my mind and my spirit are coming apart at the seams. So it's interesting, and I'm not, and hey, even though I'm not the biggest Dany fan this season, matter of fact, the majority of the fan base aren't necessarily siding with Dany in regards to what's going on here, outside of, Tony being the one to be pretty heavy with the PDA at work in public. But it just seems to me that, yeah, and I'm not trying to, shortchange the panic attack or anything. I've had my fair share, so I know it's nothing to joke about. But I think it's getting to the point where, Dany is getting to that avenue of conversation of, hey, I'm going to talk to everybody except for my man. And I'm not saying Tony isn't important here because, especially if Dany is saying that he's the cause, but the thing is, I think the more Dany spends time talking to everyone but Tony, by the time she eventually comes around and tries to talk with Tony, I wouldn't be surprised if he opts to just move on and then she's going to be mad about it because, I mean, you literally snapped on this man and told him to his face, You're the cause, you're the trigger of my panic attack and the therapy and all. This is all you. And then you throw him out. And then after he leaves, you literally tell Sabrina, I know Tony wasn't the reason for my panic attack and whatnot. Dany should have, picked up the phone or something and called him and said, I'm sorry for lashing out, but you're not the cause, but I do need space. Something like that. Because it's just like with Fatima talking to like Andy or Angela, and she's able to have these calm, cool, and level-headed conversations with other people, but you snap on the person you're in a relationship with. And that's no way of having healthy communication. Now, from there, I wonder what kind of advice Zach is going to be able to give here. I mean, well, I do like the fact that she's going to the only other person who's gone to therapy. I mean, Fatima says Krisha is her therapist too, if I'm not mistaken. But, we got to see Fatima in therapy to believe it. That's just my opinion. Now, sorry about that. I have one of my jars on the shelf knocked over. Okay, we got an interesting camera angle, and this is in regards to Zach and Fatima looking at the murder suspect board at the house. And it's like, who on this board tried to turn Andy and Gary's wedding into the next Scream movie? And speaking of Fatima, she's at work talking with Hayden, and she's, being nice. Now, I already knew this was a, scheme, because the moment Hayden gets out of the office after, like Fatima adjusts his tie and whatnot, she has that look on her face like, ugh. So, yeah, I'm just trying to be more professional and stay on task like you asked. Who are you and what happened to the, what have you done with Fatima? So pretty much, Fatima's trying to get him to drop his guard. And I have no doubt that at some point she might try to, I don't know, get on his work computer or take his phone. Because remember, I believe the plan is to somehow get into his cloud and get the video footage of Tamara and Gary and then show it to the feds. That way Hayden is like, number one on the suspect list there. Now, other than that, everything else is pertaining to Robin and Penelope, Jordan, and Andy. We do get a brief look at Karen over at her place in the morning. She looks good with her hair up like that. But, I think she's on the phone with somebody, but there's really nothing to talk about there. I think Zach could be on the phone with her, maybe. I don't know. Just checking in. But, Robin is talking to Penelope, basically saying that, hey, Miss Williams, I believe that you admitted to a crime that you didn't commit under manipulation. And then he has a conversation with Agent Watt about how, look, there was no evidence, just a statement from my client to an agent who, and this part threw me for a loop. He says, no evidence, just a statement from my client to an agent who had an inappropriate relationship with her. So I don't know, maybe Robin gets it, maybe Penelope tells Robin this, but could it be that Agent Watt kind of messed around with Penelope when she was under witness protection? I'm going to be completely honest here. I could see it being a thing, because you have to remember Penelope had just lost her baby because, Gary had tossed her to the ground and she popped like a tomato filled pinata, because obviously when she got thrown to the ground, she was bleeding out. So she was obviously experiencing a traumatic event, had to pick her own self up and somehow managed to get up out of there. And then she made her way into witness protection like Andy arranged. And remember, she told Jordan, like, I was by myself, like nobody knew I was here, and I had to deal with the depression and whatnot. And let's be real here, Penelope is an attractive woman. So I don't know, maybe Agent Watt took advantage of her in a vulnerable situation, or maybe Penelope pushed up on him, because remember, she was by herself. She just experienced traumatic, just a traumatic experience of her own, and I could have seen them being a bit cozy. And remember, she left witness protection on her own, but then said, Agent Watt and whoever else said that, it wasn't a good idea. And one could argue that maybe Agent Watt didn't want her to go because, of feelings and stuff. But then, of course, what happened? She left, went to the wedding venue, yada, yada, yada. And, man, and I'm just going to to go even deeper into theory, remember that while she was under witness protection, she was given those pills and whatnot, because didn't she tell Jordan that she couldn't sleep or something, and that these pills were to help her, go to sleep and whatnot? Did Agent Watt know those pills could cause blackouts? Meaning that, and I would hate to think that Agent Watt would be this creepy. But what if, he knew of the side effects of those pills, let Penelope take them, not just to help her fall asleep, but if he and Penelope engaged in some sort of sexual activity with or without her consent, she would have those blackouts and wouldn't remember. What do you think about that? That is really dark. But given how this show is going so far, I wouldn't put it past, the writers to come up with something like this. So, from there, he's talking to Jordan in the lobby area of the police station. And Jordan's like, Penelope's life is on the line. And Robin's like, well, we both want the same thing. And what exactly is that? To get your sister cleared and released. And then we have Jordan talking with Andy going like, you're the one who recommended he come and represent my sister. I may have made a mistake. And then that leads to Robin and Andy at the penthouse. And he's like, wait, what's wrong? Why did you agree to represent Penelope? Am I being punked? Did they bring that show back? Did you stab Gary? Andy, let's say hypothetically Robin did do it. Do you think it's a good idea to accuse this dude in your penthouse alone? Like, what if he was like, a psychotic, murderer? You're by yourself. Yeah, that left hook and can of mace might not save you this time, but I don't know. I just feel like Andy is letting the conspiracy theories of Fatima and Robin get inside of her head. That's just my opinion, but I don't know. Now that I broke down the trailer, it does seem a bit more enticing, but only the Agent Watt and Robin stuff, so that's pretty much it. But hey, at least this video I think is over double the length of last week's trailer, so there you go. But hey, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below if you made it this far into the video. I appreciate you. It is good for the retention of the video for the sake of the algorithm in my channel. So with that being said, catch you all in the next one.